All right, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Be Uplifted. Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew. Why is this so high? Is this normally like this?
I think it's the high ones because the other one, as you guys can see, Vince isn't here because he's passed out. Poor guy's been working all day.
Yeah. So this was not planned. So Vince, if you see this, we tried to wake you up multiple times. So none of this, we left you out shit, okay? Rich even attempted to grab your balls. So
Right.
if that didn't work, we don't know what will.
I think I sprained my 2 fingers doing it.
That's funny.
Damn, I tried 4, but you did 2?
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, shit.
I'm all, wait. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
Please be the pinky, okay?
You know what I saw when I went to Pacers one time recently?
A stripper.
No, well, obviously that, right? But she's a lesbian, right? And I was like, oh, that's interesting because I knew that, but I guess I didn't know. She was like, yeah, look at my hands. And all her nails were done, right? But the front 2 were short, but done for this. And that's how she purposely got her nails done. And I was like, is that a thing? And she was like, yeah, that's a thing. She's like, a lot of times that's how you know. Like, you look at their nails, and if the 2 are like, I was like, oh, shit, I never knew that. Like, you learn something new every day.
Wow. Way to intro our Christmas episode.
You guys brought it up. Wait, no, you didn't.
yeah, you brought it up.
But how did I get on that subject? What were we talking about?
Because you did this whole one in the stink, one in the pink shit.
But would we be uplifted if I didn't talk about some kind of
I guess
vagina
not.
and dick somewhere?
Well, I was trying to do like, you know how they have a Toys for Tots?
Oh, okay.
I was trying to do like,
okay. Wholesome.
It's not wholesome because I was gonna say I was trying to do like, you know, they have like the drives.
Toys for thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, sex toys for single moms.
Toys for thoughts.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I was trying to do like a whole online thing, but that
It didn't work?
no, it didn't work.
Damn. I think it would work if you did it right. That would be, a lot of moms would respond to that.
Yeah. Maybe not call it.
Raise money to buy sex toys for single moms.
You never know. It gets lonely out in these streets for those moms.
Right,
You know?
right.
All right. So with that being said, guys, welcome. This is our holiday Christmas episode.
It's weird because the Christmas episode we've had like the last 2 episodes with like Christmas tree out, but it's not out today.
Sorry, guys.
No.
It was a busy day/week. So
But we do have the Christmas colors.
I didn't wear my Christmas sweater.
That's okay.
Because next time it's not going to make sense on the next one.
Oh,
And this is the only 2 shirts that I brought.
I got you.
Okay.
I got a sweater.
Okay.
I got a black sweater.
So what's your next episode for the crazy Christmas sweaters? Well, okay, it'd still be a holiday episode. I don't know.
We'll see.
What,
And it's so good too because it's of reindeers humping. It's like a funny, ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh my God, I need to get one.
Yeah, so it's like it doesn't look inappropriate, but when you look closely, the reindeers are doing each other from the back, but you don't notice it initially.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
We-
so
we- you
Send me
know,
the link.
It wouldn't be uplifted if we didn't fuck it up.
right. We keep it real out in these
Yeah,
streets,
you know,
guys.
like, we just hop on and go, oh shit, I forgot the sweatshirts.
Okay, so just like last time, we forgot you weren't here for that. Wait, well, she wasn't here for Vince's birthday episode, right?
No, I wasn't.
No, yeah.
So
And
I got
some
him.
shit.
Yeah.
I heard the episode. But anyways, go ahead.
So I had got him a full blown cake. Like I went out of my way to get him a cake. Got it written like "Happy Birthday, Vince."
Right.
We didn't even remember the cake.
Yeah.
In the episode 1, and then 2, when we opened the cake
It was
because he had
melted.
tipped over in Vince's car, and we didn't know that it was the cake that tipped over. The whole thing was erased.
Yeah, it just says Vin.
It said Vince, but barely legible. I was like, damn, we fucked up.
I think it's the universe talking about how it's just meant to be like that for Vince.
Well, I'm like, for you, we got ice. Oh, wait, no, that was fucked up for Vince. The ice
Yeah. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. The universe is fucking talking.
Sorry, Vince.
Well, you know, when you manifest it.
But manifesting isn't real, remember? He doesn't believe in that.
Well, yeah. Believe in this now.
All right. So we decided that for this episode, we would kind of talk about our holiday traditions, our Christmases growing up, what we want to just basically talk about the holidays and how it's intertwined in our lives and what we've done in our past and what we plan to do.
And it's interesting too, because I'm glad that we're talking about this because we're all Filipino. So I'm interested to see like if there's like that type of same tradition for all of us or not.
Okay, so let's start with you, Lonnie, since you are from a kind of like
Since
more
you're not really Filipino.
No,
Yeah, I'm
she
not
Filipino,
Filipino,
okay, but you're more Americanized Filipino, and then your mom is Hispanic. So, what were some typical traditions that you grew up with?
So my mom's side, I feel like it counts but doesn't count because we don't have anything that we do traditionally. I tried to, and I was like, let's make tamales on Christmas or whatever, right? No, that shit didn't work for that long.
So you were trying to do
I was
the traditional
trying.
thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying, and then shit happened and didn't work out. But my dad's side, we go hard in the paint for that shit, man.
Nice.
Like Christmas Eve.
Filipinos, by the way, don't take Christmas lightly. Like,
It starts in September.
yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Exactly. So what kind of things did you guys do? Or what kind of things do you know, like, every Christmas, you know that's about to go down?
Oh, well, for sure, we do a potluck. We do a potluck. Everybody comes in. We've been doing pajamas every year because we all lazy to dress up.
I love that. Like Christmas pajamas or just pajamas?
Pajamas.
Okay.
Yeah, just pajamas. Or if people had Christmas pajamas, then wear Christmas pajamas. But it's funny because you could tell who's like on what side because they're wearing red or wearing blue or
Wow.
anyways,
hilarious.
But and then you know we'll like talk shit, drink, whatever. And then our family started a tradition with especially like the younger folks where we all had a 40, so all the cousins get a 40.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
So now it's like a thing. We always have a 40. And then we've done brown paper bags for the past like 2 years. And then
what's that? What's brown paper bags?
so you basically get a tall can of whatever alcohol.
Oh,
And we put it in the circle, and you basically like white elephant brown bag basically.
That's sick. I like
Yeah.
that. That's fun.
Mine would be the MGD. Not the MG, the PBR. Everybody would know. Rich got this one.
PBR? What's that?
Yeah.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, the tall can.
Oh, okay. I was like, PBR? What's this? Old man. Just kidding.
Ghetto drink. It's like $1.99 for the tall can.
Hey, if it's good, it's good.
Right?
That's like a Mickey's. It's still
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a fucking cheap ass 40, but that shit is still good.
That shit hits. If it wasn't like a tall can, then we'll do like I've done buzz balls or like whatever alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So we've done that. But we've also done games for like the children every year, and then we've also done games for like the elderly every year. And then when it comes to like presents, you know, them fucking envelopes is a thing for us. So we pass out the envelopes to all the kids, and we ask them like who they got it from. So like, oh, you know, Lolo so and so, Lola so and so, and the kids have to remember who's who, and that's kind of hard because there's fucking 13, 12 of them.
Dang.
1312.
12, 13. Well, because, you know, some has recently passed away, but
Yeah.
not recently, but they have passed away. So they have to remember like who's who, whatever. And then, or they say like, oh, what are you thankful for? So one of my uncles is always drunk Santa. And ends up some clothes start taking off. It's a whole thing. Like I love Christmas with my Filipino side. And then what else do we do?
What kind of games when you say adult games and child games? Like what kind of games?
So the kids, I mean, lately we've been kind of feeding off of TikTok because TikTok has some pretty fun games.
TikTok is the devil because there's so many good things to find on there.
We've done white elephant has always been a thing for us. This year with the cousins, we did secret sneaker. So a secret Santa, but instead we had a $200 minimum, maximum, whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, and you had to buy shoes or like let's say you get like a Vans or whatever, and then you have to buy like another Vans or whatever to equal up to 200.
Damn. 200.
Yeah.
And you know,
But if that's one person though, that's like
yeah, but whoever made that up wanted Jordans.
No, we got some sneakerheads in the family,
Yeah,
so that makes
exactly.
sense. A lot of
That's
them were like betting on GOAT and shit like that,
Yeah,
and all that. So yeah, so we did that this year, and that was really fun. And then for the kids, we'll do like, blowing the candle or like unwrapping the ball, especially for the older ones. We do that one for the older ones.
What's blowing the candle? I don't think I know that.
So
one.
you put money or you put random things on the table, and then you get the single little candles, and they have to blow. Put in a line.
Oh, and how far you get that
That's
gift.
a prize.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so smart.
Fucking, you know what? That sounds expensive. Don't invite me to any of your Christmas party. First of all, I have to buy a
Fuck the Asana's Christmas. They're expensive.
First of all, I have to buy a pair of Jordans, and then second of all, I have to buy now shit for the kids.
No, I mean it's like not everybody has to contribute, but it's like you get to choose which one you want to do.
But if it's Secret Santa, it's just one kid and one adult, so it's like the same.
Yeah.
Like
like all the cousins like in our age group usually we just did that secret sneaker one, and then the kids, we have a shit ton of fucking kids. So
you know what I would do?
What?
I would go fucking buy like $200 worth of the worst, cheapest sneaker. Like, oh, here's
You would be that
here's your
asshole.
Payless. Here's 4 pairs of the Payless shoes, 5 pairs of the Target shoes, Walmart brand.
But you have to get what's on the whatever they put on the list.
so there's a list.
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
Secret Santa, but we call it Secret Sneaker.
But with Secret Santa, you don't make a list.
Secret Santa,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can like you have this thing like when my friends
Oh,
we used
okay.
to
I know
go
what
like
you're talking about, where you have like a list of your wishes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Okay.
Elfster's good for that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so it's online and you could either purchase it on Amazon if there's already a link,
That makes
and-
sense.
yeah, we use Elfster.
Yeah.
So.
But damn, $200.
Oh, I think I was thinking of White Elephant, where you're not supposed to
yeah,
know
yeah.
the gift, and
Yeah, no.
people bring shitty gifts sometimes, So okay,
We
that
don't
makes
really
sense.
do I mean, we do white elephants was like a homie thing, but not as a family. 'Cause
Family,
it just seems.
yeah.
Yeah, but $200, damn.
That's interesting to me because I don't know if you know about this, but I know in my Filipino family and culture, it was always said to never gift shoes. Because they say that if you gift shoes,
People walk away.
people will walk away or walk all over you, one or the other. Or if you do accept, so for example, if I were to give you a pair of shoes, you would have to give me money back, but not necessarily money, but like a quarter or like $1 to represent balance.
Like value.
Yeah, and value. So I was always taught like you don't gift shoes unless that person understands and will give you like $1 in return.
But
or
they're
a
all
quarter.
giving each other shoes.
So it makes sense. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They don't really walk out. They kind of walk around in a circle.
They got no
even.
choice. We stuck together.
Well,
Right?
well, knowing your sneakerheads, they probably don't even wear those shoes. They just put it on the shelf somewhere.
No, they actually do. And thankfully, we plan this like at least half of the year in advance. So that's why we put a high amount.
Dang, y'all are planners.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy. That's dope though. Like I love that because if you think about it, those are core memories that you guys are always going to remember. Something that the kids are always going to remember, growing up. That's awesome.
But so we were talking about like a core memory. My core memory has to be my drunk Uncle Santa that we always have. Because there's always like clothes coming off or like shots and just drinks and
I
just
love
seeing them
that.
go crazy is just funny.
So what does that mean, drunk Santa? Like
So like obviously we pre-fade and drink or whatever. By the time he gets Santa, like he's drunk.
Yeah.
So he's passing out gifts or calling out names drunk.
Yeah, because
so
like
funny.
you start like
so
at
one
8
person is like the designated Santa, and then he's fucked up.
right.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
because you
got
start
it.
like the party at like 8 or 9.
Right.
And then you wait till like midnight. Right. Because Filipinos, Mexicans also like to do the whole midnight
Midnight
as opposed
thing.
to like
Yep.
the Christmas day. So by that time, it's like, oh, fuck, it's time to open gifts. You know?
He's all fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about you? Do you have any traditions well, yeah, let's start with that. We'll move on to like what we do for like our current kids, but like what about you growing up? Did you have traditions or things that you remember that were like consistent growing up?
Well, my brother is like 7 years younger than my sister and I, roughly. So because my mom was technically a single mom, me and my sister would always, because we were working, we'd chip in to buy my brother like the newest like gaming system. That was like the thing for us, you know. It wasn't $200 shoes.
It was a gaming system.
I wish it was $200 shoes. So, I mean, but it was like no, it was for him. Like because we knew my mom couldn't afford getting him the brand new like whether it was like Super
PS5
Genesis
or whatever.
Well, that's before PS5.
Before. Yeah, okay,
like the Sega Genesis, the TurboGrafx 16s. We'd chip in and we'd actually buy that for him.
That's cute.
That was our present for him.
And what would he do for you guys?
He didn't have to do anything.
What about now?
Now, I mean, he makes more money than both my sister combined.
Do you see that same sentiment like back though? Oh,
I do.
I love that. I love that.
But as far as like tradition, like aside from what we did in the Philippines, it was just like a regular American thing. The only thing that changed really was the fact that it was done at midnight as opposed to anything. I mean, the Philippines itself, like I said, we start in September, right?
Right.
In October, November, then December. But I think that in the Philippines, it kind of falls into like the harvest season.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Christmas is. It's like all the festivals are normally October, November.
Right.
It's because it's like the harvest. It celebrates harvest.
Yeah.
And then
That makes sense.
Then we get we get like Sinulog, Mascara Festival. Then we have, obviously it's a lot different in the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
The thing is like I grew up there technically till I was 8, so I kind of witnessed that with like the city wherever area you're from, their patron saints, and you have the Santo Niño that gets paraded around.
Yep.
So it's a lot different in the Philippines than it is here. It's a lot more
festive,
but not in a like, because I think Lonnie's is festive too, but it's not like, it's more like it's like an event.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things that you bring that up. My mom has always talked about, right? Because I've never been back home to the Philippines on actual Christmas time,
Right.
And we actually have a plan to go next year because we've been like saving up and we're like, we're going to go to Christmas next year for the Philippines. And my mom, ever since I can remember, my mom, my dad, my aunts have always said, you have to experience Christmas in the Philippines because it's so different. And that's what they speak to. They're like, yeah, it's cool because we have festiveness within our home. But in the Philippines, you just feel the Christmas spirit throughout the whole community, throughout the streets, throughout the stores, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things she used to always say is like, here on Christmas, all the stores are closed. The streets are quiet because everyone is busy in their home celebrating. Whereas like in the Philippines, it's all lit up.
You're out in the streets.
You're out in the streets.
Yeah.
Everyone is celebrating together. I'm like, that's really cool. I can't wait to experience that,
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys talk about that because my family too, they always say like, oh, it's lit
Yeah.
in the Philippines. And I'm like, but what's so lit about over there? But that's cool. Like what is something that you remember most that was your favorite celebrating in the Philippines?
I think it was like, just again, as you said, like it's more of like a community thing, but I think it goes into like the social economic factors where here it's all materialistic, right? Like I know we joke, I know we like I don't want to go back to $200 shoes, but you can't afford that in the Philippines,
Right?
Like even as a family, right? So you factor in how the city goes, so it's almost like you're celebrating, like the whole street celebrates with you
Together.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
You know what I mean?
I
So
love
it's like
that.
a block party.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
cool.
You know?
That's how my mom described it. She's like, it's not just like a family party. It is a block party. You know? I was like, oh, that's really dope. Like, I can't wait for my kids to experience that,
Yeah.
Yeah, plus it has religious factors because
Yes.
Obviously the Philippines is very religious, so you're dealing with like again the parade, the Santo Niño, and everybody's celebrating
The
like
different saints and stuff. Yeah.
different saints, but they're basically celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
So it's almost like you like it's again like a block party. It's a lot different. Where people hang out and like they're drinking at the corners at different
Right.
spots, and you walk around like, hey uncle, like then you move to the next house, hey uncle, and then we also do. They don't do that anymore as much here. But we used to do Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Going from house to house. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Speaking of that, I went to the mall like 2 days ago to take my kids to buy something, and you just hear these people singing super loud, right? Like, you just hear like in the corner, you're like, what is that? What is that? And then we finally recognize like, oh, they're carolers, right? And then they came right by our table where we were eating because we had stopped to eat, and they were just like singing carols. And my daughters were like, why are they doing that? They're like, why are they here singing? I was like, you know, believe it or not, this was a common thing. People would go from house to house and they would sing carols. And they're like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, yeah, like, you got to give it up to them. You know, like, these people are like, even though it's not a thing anymore, they like fucking put their balls on. And they were like, I want to say like high schoolers, right? And she was like, are they getting paid? I was like, I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but that's sick. Like, I fucking love that. You know, my little boys, because they're not too cool yet, they're like, cool, mommy, people are singing at us, you know?
Because you only really see that in movies now.
Right, exactly. And they were good. I was like, what the hell? These fucking kids
like
were
the
belting
choir,
out.
choir
Pitch
kids.
perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was like, okay, get it. And I was impressed. Maybe this is like the fucking old person in me, right? I expected them to have like their phones singing, you know? But they had the old school like carols in a binder, you know?
They're
and
definitely the choir.
yeah, like singing all with their matching folders. Like, I was like, okay, get it, guys. Like, that's cool.
Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening?
They'd hit those high notes. I was like, okay.
This was at the mall?
It was at the mall.
Plaza Bonita?
Yeah, I was impressed. I was like, look at this ghetto ass mall with some carolers.
Right? I'm like, last time I just saw someone get like hit with fucking
The train. You get hit with a train.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That's funny. So, Ari, what's some of your traditions that you remember as a kid? Or what's your traditions with your family?
Christmas wise, let me think. I'm thinking of New Year's because we have like a lot of New Year's specific ones, so we could talk about that on another episode. But Christmas wise, it was really, I'm trying to think, because once my parents split up when I was like 19, right? And after that, it was almost like my job to keep the Christmas spirit going. But it was really just standard. Like before my parents split up, we would stay up until midnight, open presents at midnight. You know, we would always go to midnight mass when my parents were together.
There's midnight mass. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Back in the
Noche
day.
Buena.
Yeah, Noche Buena. So they would call it Noche Buena. We would do that a lot. We don't do that. After my parents split up, we never did that again. But we would do Noche Buena. My parents weren't, they tried to do the Santa thing, but because they were like hella fob Filipino, they didn't give really two fucks about it. So they'd be like, yeah, Santa got that for you. I'm like, I saw that in the closet last week. Like, that's not from Santa.
Well, people use Noche Buena to be able to put out gifts.
Yeah.
So you go to church till midnight.
Yeah.
And you come home and, Santa was here.
Right. So I think my parents were not slick. So I remember that. That's one of the memories I have where I'm like, I saw those in the closet last week. Like, are you sure Santa gave that to me? It was just, I just remember like a lot of food, which is standard, right? A lot of, that's really it. I don't think we had like actual traditions. And I think, which is going to lead into the next part of, I'm going to ask you guys, like, what are your current traditions with like your own kids or whatever? I think that's why I go so hard with my kids right now as far as like traditions and stuff like that, because I don't really remember having those kind of traditions. I do remember having like a lot of family around growing up and presents and a lot of food, but there wasn't anything where it was like, oh, we're going to play games or, oh, I know this is going to happen. Like, my parents were just like, here's toys, like, here's gifts.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. And I was okay with that because I didn't know any better, you know, like until I got older and I was like, oh, people like do shit, you know? Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, America in itself, it kills, the way that that America works, it really kills Christmas spirit. At least for me.
How do you explain?
Well, like with Lonnie, it's different because she has a family and you could kind of like get lost in that.
Yeah.
Almost like a dopamine hit.
Right.
You know? But for me, it's always been like just me, my ex, my daughter.
Yeah.
And like family here or there, whatever. So it's almost like there's so much like it really is so much so stressful.
Stressful, yeah.
Like, you know, you got to work extra and then you got to spend this money. And maybe it's just me where I'm like going, fuck, now I need more money for this and trying to get my daughter this thing that she wants. And it's like, then it's just you three, but there's nothing to really take away that
stress,
right? It's like, you know, when you deal with like a family and there's like, you know, 14 grandfathers, like 25 uncles or whatever.
It's a party. It's fun.
It's a party. And then you're like, you kind of get lost in the stress. And I think that's why in the Philippines there really is no, everybody's kind of like hard up, but everybody's hard up. So you're kind of just like enjoying
together. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that though too, because like with my mom's side, I feel that stress. Because I barely get to see them. And when like it's like gift giving time and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to get them.
Right.
You know, or like because my mom's parents are separated too, like we had to hop different houses and one was like way different than the other two. So it was like really stressful and awkward for me growing up with that. But then all I knew was like, oh, well, they're my family. Like, I'm more like you said, I'm more naive, or I'm more like close to my Filipino side because we have this whole big ass event that I'm just like, I'm more used to knowing I'm more comfortable with this than
Yeah. So what are some things, because I know Alina's still a baby, but what are some things that you are starting or foreseeing that you're going to do with her growing up?
I do want to do the whole tamales thing with my family, with her for sure. So I can teach her like cooking and just being together. I did get like an ornament for her. So every year I'd want her to pick her own ornament. Like we'll go to the store, she can pick her own. I want to do that with her.
Oh, that's cute.
And then go see Christmas lights, whether it be, you know, just driving around or, you know, going to like an actual event for that. And then continue on with the whole staying with my family, doing that every year for Christmas Eve.
I love that.
Yeah. Candy cane lane or wherever, Christmas lane.
Christmas card lane and like all that stuff. Yeah.
So that's something that you did with your daughter pretty consistently?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did you have any other traditions that you did with your daughter specifically?
No.
Not really?
Did you guys take your kids to like go see Santa and like...
Oh, yeah, at the mall, yeah.
Okay,
okay. So that was one thing my mom did do with us. We always took like Santa pictures. And it's funny because I haven't done that with not one of my kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I did it with the girls, I think like 1 or 2 years. And then we were kind of just like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now my daughter's like 20. So like really
different.
Christmas is just like, you know, she's like, I want this. I'm like, okay. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, there's really is like, you know, we're actually this year, we're just, because, you know, her mom's in the Philippines. We're like, I was like trying to tell her like, let's just do it, just us two. But then, you know, she wants to kind of celebrate with her cousins and stuff. So we got to do that.
You sound so excited.
Did you do, I mean, like, but when she was a kid though, like what was your fondest memories keeping that Christmas spirit alive for her?
Well, I think it was like my mom was living in Seattle. So her first Christmas, we flew up there.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, and it was snowing. So it was like snowing on her first Christmas and stuff like that. And her mom's family is in Sunnyvale, which is in like the San Jose, the Bay Area. So we'd go up there, you know,
nice,
and spend time there. But
so
you know,
family basically
is
the big thing.
But for me, it's like it's not necessarily like, how do I put it? It's not a knock against them, okay? But it's like it's not my family.
I get that,
right? So I'm like just like kind of going by how they're celebrating and kind of just like yippee ki yay.
Yeah, you're going along with it.
But when it's my family and it's like a gathering, it's like it hits different.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ari? What do you do with all your kids?
So,
in a good way, like I love all of them. I mean, if I could, I would want to have that many, but I don't know if I could.
So like I said, my mom didn't have a lot of traditions growing up, right? So to kind of like take it back, I had decided when I was with my ex, my high school sweetheart, because my youngest brother is 14 years younger than me, and I remember not having a lot of like Christmas memories. So because my ex was very Americanized because he wasn't Filipino, he was like, you're not going to do Santa for your baby brother. So I started the tradition then. So because my ex had like been like, you know, let's make it special for him. He's little, like he needs to know Santa. I started a tradition where I would wrap specific gifts in like really fancy red paper, and I would leave it for my brother with my ex, and my ex would write a Santa note like, you know, you've been really good. I'm super proud of you. Like, da da da. So we'd leave a note and Santa gifts for my brother.
Wait. He listens to the podcast.
My ex?
No, your brother. He's gonna know that it wasn't from.
Oh,
Santa.
he knows. He knows now. Yeah, he knows now. So I continued that with my
My life is a lie.
so funny story. I'll get to that with my kids, my daughters specifically, because they're old enough to know. But so I continued that tradition with my kids. So me and Akrai, it doesn't matter what happens. It's like clockwork. We are up until almost like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning wrapping gifts. And
that's because they get home at 3.
Yeah. And then the Santa gifts are specifically wrapped. Like, my goal every year is to find this shiny red paper, this shiny red wrapping paper. That's the Santa gifts. It has to be the special shiny wrapping paper. And I've always been lucky to find it. So we wrap them in these like very specific shiny wrapping gifts or shiny wrapping paper. And they're all set out. And like, it's like in groups, like Izzy's are here, Jocelyn's are here, Henzo's and Josiah. And then with the gifts, we always leave milk and cookies for Santa. And then like clockwork, Anthony will eat the cookies and we'll take a couple of bites of like the carrots from the reindeers. So we leave the cookies and the carrots half eaten, and then we leave the red Christmas gifts and the note from Santa. So we do that every single year. And we've been super good at it. Like that's like for us, like no matter what's going on, that's the one thing that's always been successful in our family, right? So my kids, like my daughters specifically, I remember they were already like in 6th grade and people were like, you still fucking believe in Santa? You guys are losers, you know? But we were so good at covering and tradition and like whatever. And they're like, Mommy, my friend said that like Santa doesn't exist. I'm like, well, Santa doesn't come and see kids that don't believe, you know? Like I told them that. So finally, because I'm cheap, right? Not cheap, but I was like, this is getting expensive. There's 4 of you now. So I had told the kids like, Santa cuts it off at 13. I told them, I was like, Santa doesn't come for kids under the age of 13 because he needs to make room for the new babies.
Over the age of 13.
Yeah, it doesn't come for kids over the age of 13 because you need to make room for the new babies. So you have to be kind and understanding and know that. So they got very accepting of that. So speaking to killing their dreams, right? I remember I had to take my daughters last year that when they turned 13 and 14. And I was like, I have to tell you guys something. We pulled them aside and we're like, me and Dad are Santa. Oh my gosh. When I tell you my daughters bawled their eyes out. They were so, I really did. So first of all, we were like, they have to know by now. Like we were like, they fucking know by now. So we didn't think it was going to be like some big, you know, but as soon as we told them, you just see their whole fucking face shift. And they were like, what? And we're like, it's us, you know? And they're like, so Santa's not real. And they fucking just started bawling. And my younger daughter, she fucking went in her room and she's like, why did you have to tell me? Why didn't you just like let me find out? I was like, and then so it was bad.
Do they know that the Easter Bunny doesn't exist?
Okay, so let me tell you what happened. I'm so glad you asked that. So that's the same year that we had to break it to them. And the reason why we broke it to them is because of Easter. Let me tell you why. Easter came, we do the same thing. So our Easter tradition real quick is we set out the Easter baskets, but we always put out jelly beans from their room to track to the Easter thing. So we say that the Easter poops out jelly beans to lead you to.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they always believe that, right? And they still believed it up until they were like 12, 13. But this particular year, my daughter had a hamster for like that year, right? And no. And the hamster has, the paper on the bottom for pee. You can use shredded paper. You could use whatever.
Yeah.
And I specifically bought paper that you could put on the bottom of the basket that we could recycle for the hamster. So the girls were like, oh, Mom, look at the colorful paper. We can use it for Lucky. You know, like they had noticed it. And my dumbass goes, yeah, that's why I bought that. So you could use it for Lucky. And my daughter goes, what? What did you say, Ma? You bought this for, I thought it was, and I go, I'll tell you later. I freaked out because our brothers were there. I was like, I'll tell you later. And they're like, man, Ma, we had a feeling you were the Easter Bunny. We're like, but we never knew because you guys hid it so well. And then, so later that year, I had to break the Santa thing to them. And she was just like, I was like, damn, I fucking killed this kid's dream this year, you know? Like,
you might as well just told them like one time for the whole entire year.
I know, like nothing. So, but the good thing now is because they're on board and the girls
help out.
They help out. They're like, boys, make sure you write your Santa list so that Santa can get everything for you, you know? And and the reason why it worked out so well for the kids is they write their Santa list early. I make them write 10 things down, and I go, you have to write 10 things down because Santa can't always guarantee everything, you know? They're like, okay, because sometimes it's like iPad, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you have to write different variations of stuff, right? And I will go to the ends of the earth to search for the specifics that they asked for, which is why they thought Santa was real. Like they'll be like, I want a doll with these type of eyes and these type of clothes, and I would deliver almost every single year. Like I would find those very specific things.
It's like those American Girl dolls where you're specific with the hair, the eyes.
It was like everything that they would ask for. Like I remember Izzy asked for turtles one time, and I couldn't get her like a real turtle, so I got her like these toy turtles with babies, and they were like all set out, and they were like, she's like, oh my God, Santa knew exactly what I wanted. Like I'm the shit. Okay. When it came to that, even after I was like, damn, you're so like to the detail. I'm like, because I want them to think that Santa is real, you know?
So what are the boys' list this year?
So this year they went all big, and I was like, I don't know, you're gonna have to redo that shit. Josiah asked for a dog, an iPad, Charizard Pokemon card. So I found the Charizard Pokemon card.
You find a Charizard Pokemon card?
Yeah. I fucking had to pay a lot of money for that shit.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
and then
that thing can go up to like $100,000.
Yeah, I happened to find
depending on the edition.
This Charizard a collector pack, so it has like all the versions of the Charizard card. But yeah, so. And then Henzo's like asking for a fucking cell phone. So my kids have asked for a cell phone multiple times, right, on their Christmas list.
The T-Mobile Go.
No, but they're asking for an iPhone specifically because they're fucking spoiled, right? And so I go, Santa don't get iPhones for kids. And they're like, why, mommy? And I'm like, because that wouldn't be fair to all the kids. Imagine if every kid asked for an iPhone. That's not fair. Santa wants you to ask for things that are more fair, you know? And they're like, okay, fine. But yeah, so that's our tradition for Christmas is we do that. And then we always go to my mom's house afterwards, and so Christmas Eve is kind of like ours, and then Christmas Day is like where we visit like multiple, like Jocelyn's side of the family, his side of the family, my side of the family. We are never in one place. We travel to like 4 different houses for like 2 hours at a time.
Damn.
Yeah. It's a lot for us.
The whole cookie thing, yeah, I gotta do that. Because I even saw some ideas where like you put baby powder on the bottom of the boot.
Yep.
And then I want to do that too.
When you walk, the footsteps.
Yeah.
The one thing that we don't do, which is everyone's always like, you don't do that as hard as you go for Christmas. I don't do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking move an elf around every single day. Sorry, kids.
I want to do that.
Maybe for Alina, but for 4 kids now, I'm like, no, they're gonna ask too many questions. So
I can see Akra putting it like as a stripper.
Yeah, he's on like a pole. I could totally see him do that too.
That's cool.
With a Barbie.
I know. I was like, stop. No more stripper shit. He bought a couple of Christmas shirts because he's super festive when it comes to like Akra. It's like Halloween, whatever. When it comes to Christmas, he's like, yeah, let me buy every fucking Christmas shirt. He bought like these like inappropriate Christmas shirts for Pacers. I was like, that's fucking funny. You and your stripper life over here.
Yeah, the residency.
You're right. Exactly. So what are your guys's, you kind of asked him a little bit, but you personally, when you look back on your life, do you have any specific Christmas memory? What's your favorite Christmas memory that like stands out, if you can think of one?
Oh, that's kind of hard. The house that I grew up in, because we lost that house, but it's just something about that house because I knew that both of my parents lived in that house. That was my childhood house.
Yeah.
So it's just being in that house because I remember we had like this fucking 12-foot ass like stocking. It was fucking huge because we had like a staircase.
Okay.
So it was like that. I just remember that, and then like putting cookies on top of like fucking every Filipino house has a fucking piano and shit.
Yeah.
So or like the fancy dining tables and shit. So I remember like baking cookies and putting it on there, and my dad would eat those, and I guess it's just being with my parents there from like what I did remember. That's probably like one of my fondest memories.
How about you, Rich? Philippines are here. What's one of your fondest Christmas memories?
Wow. I think going back to like how my sister and I would get my brother the newest gaming system. I think it was like the TurboGrafx 16. We were up in Fremont at that time, and yeah, we got him the TurboGrafx 16, but like it was like right around the time when like handycams was big. So we had like the camera, we filmed everything, and then and he was just his reaction to it. He was like, "I got the TurboGrafx 16. I got this ring around that
joy on his face.
So I still remember that to this day, And then my late uncle, which actually kind of like bore the load of my dad at that point, because my dad was gone. He got me a Jerry Rice jersey. So that was like my prized possession for the longest time, until it basically shredded into pieces because I wore it so often. So that's probably like my best memory.
I love that.
What about you, Ari?
It's kind of depressing because, like, I think because I'm the ate, right? Like, I was the oldest of me and my siblings. And I've always kind of been, like, the leader of the family, especially because my parents had so many issues growing up. So I really don't have, like, maybe just, like, kind of, like, getting cool gifts, when I was growing up. But it's very blurry. Like, I don't really remember a lot of Christmases growing up. Even now, like, I'm like, I don't really remember getting anything meaningful, ever receiving anything meaningful, because it was always me that was like, and I'm not even trying to sound like some like fucking like saint or woes is me, but really like I go so hard for the people that I love, because I don't really remember anything for me, but I love Christmas. Like, even my kids, they're like, oh my God, I fucking love Christmas. I love Christmas so much. My house is decorated crazy because Christmas is like such a big deal for us. But so long story short, to answer the question is, I don't really know, because I don't really have a lot of memories. It's always been me trying to create the memories for the people around me. So yeah. I don't know.
And I think that's the whole part of, like, unfortunately, like, quote unquote growing up. It's like now you have, it's Christmas, but you have your job, and you're trying to, I'm telling you, it adds that element of stress to your life.
Right.
That's unbelievable every year.
Yeah.
Right. This year it's like, my daughter's 20, so it's a little easier. Like, I'll just get her BTS shit. She'll be fucking happy.
Yeah.
But that's it. But yeah, but it's like, when you're dealing with it, when you're like a kid, when she was younger, and you have to deal with the fact that you got to get a tree, then you got to decorate the tree, and it just, man, maybe it's me, because I'm always worried about finances.
Yeah.
That it's like, man, I'm like, damn, I can't afford this shit. Which really shouldn't be it, right? It should be more about, like, let's celebrate
Memories, yeah.
But when you're at the mindset where you're like, you have the other party wanting you to keep up with the Joneses, then you're keeping up with the Joneses more than celebrating.
I relate to that, because even though I'm not the guy, because it's usually the guy, right, that's like worrying about the finances and like, how am I going to afford to give everyone? I think because that wasn't in the family, I took that role, so I can relate to that, where it was like, it wasn't even really like, woohoo, it was like, oh God, how am I going to get everyone a gift? Like, what am I going to get my brothers? What can I get for my mom? Because no one else is going to buy my mom a gift since she's a single mom. So I got to get her something amazing, Right. Like, it was always that. So I totally relate to that. I do remember one of my fond memories now, though. Like, now that I look back at it, I remember growing up, my dad had created, like, from scratch. I remember him building parol, like the stars, the Filipino star.
And the lantern.
The lantern. So that's one of the memories I do remember. Like, it just kind of popped into my head right now. I remember he made one from, like, his hands, like, out of scratch, and he had put it at the top of our house that I grew up in before my parents split up, and he was so proud of himself. He's like, "Anak, look what I made." Right. And it was, like, big and huge, like bigger than this light up here, right? And he was so proud of himself, and he was so happy. And my dad's not very excitable like that, or he wasn't. Yeah. So that's one of my fondest memories, was that he made, like, a Filipino traditional thing. And fast forward to now, it's a coincidence, because Ackright actually brought that up. Even though he's half Filipino, he goes, "I think I want to put one of the Filipino stars up in our house. And it kind of caught me off guard because I forgot about that, you know? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah. And he shows me like right here, like in front of the garage. And I was like, I almost like I got all mushy and almost wanted to be emotional about it because I was like, oh, I remember that. Like, I remember that's
Is he going to make it?
He said he wants to try and make it. Okay. Yeah. So I was like, okay. Like, it totally gave me like, oh shit, you are my dad. You know, like vibes, like, because he does a lot of things that remind me of my dad. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. But he's all like, yeah, I think I'm gonna make one from scratch. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I think our kids would love that because I remember that memory, you know? So
yeah.
Yeah, that's another Filipino tradition where they have the lantern and you know.
Right.
Yeah. When you're saying like you feel like the burden, like how you said because you're the author and stuff like that. I don't know why it just popped into my head, but like me and Jason, because now we obviously have Alina, right? And we're talking about like Christmas and like how it was for us growing up. And he, obviously, this is his second time. I forgot. His second or third time like celebrating Christmas with us. And he's like, damn, y'all go hard. I love it. Like, I wish my family was like that. Because he told me like his mom told him like really young, Christmas or Santa ain't real. And like that really fucked him up in the long run. Yeah. So like now I feel like I want to put that Christmas spirit as a kid, like in a kid for it. You know what I mean? What am I trying to say?
Yeah, give it to him.
Give it to him like if he was a kid again, you know?
I love that.
And then like he, I remember one time we were like at Walmart or whatever. And I was like, we're getting a fucking tree. He goes, we're getting a tree. I was like, we're getting a fucking tree for Alina. And he's like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And he was like, actually, and I put like Christmas music on and we were putting like the ornaments on and like setting it up because we got a fake tree. I was not trying to buy a new tree every year. Yeah. So like he was like fixing the tree and he was like helping me fix the branches and he's like, this is actually really fun. I go, this is what your childhood was supposed to be, babe. Like we're gonna create that for Alina. And he was like, I love that.
No, I totally relate to that. I love that because we did the same thing like this year. This was actually like a couple of days ago. We stopped everything that was going on. We turned on the Christmas music. We're like, okay, it's Christmas decorating time. Mind you, like, I think 2 of the kids were fucking bickering. I was like, you're going to fucking suck that shit up and we're about to make this tree beautiful. And they did, you know? Aww. And I think that's why I like Christmas is like, for some reason, the family drama just kind of dissipates for Christmas, you know? And it's like, we're all going to focus. But then also, depending on how big your family is like, there's also dramas that do pop up. But like, you know.
Maybe I need to go into therapy.
Why? Do you want to join my family Christmas?
No, because like the whole tree thing for me is an annoyance. It's just like something that gets in the way. Like another thing I have to do. You know what I mean? Like I know the symbolism behind it and you celebrating, but for me it's like just another fucking task I gotta do.
Well, lucky for you, your daughter's older, so it's not really something that you have to worry about.
She's putting up her own tree.
She's probably like, fuck this dad that never gave me a damn tree.
She's like, you're putting up the tree? And she's like, yeah. I told her, well, I'm not taking it down.
Wow.
Wow.
But it's, you know, it's, I don't know.
You should ask her. I feel like you should ask her and be like, do you want me to do something with you? Like, you got to put it down, but do you want me to, like, do you want to go look at ornaments or something together? Because I feel like even though she's older, because I feel like that with my, family.
You want that.
You want that bond.
Yeah. No, well, we're spending, like, the whole month together.
Yeah, but I feel like women specifically, they thrive on that sentimental tradition, you know? So you should probably give her that.
We're going to watch like K-pop Christmas videos.
Oh, she'll love that.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Fine, you'll get a pass.
I don't know.
So what are your guys' thoughts? Because I had told a couple of people that I know, I think this was my coworkers back in the day, what I do for my kids and how like, one time a year, I go all out because my kids aren't spoiled. They don't get whatever the fuck they want when they want, but on Christmas, they get everything, you know? And I remember a couple of, I think it was my coworkers, if I'm remembering correctly, were like, oh, I don't agree with that. I don't believe in that for my kids. They're like, oh, do you? Like, I respect that, but I don't believe in that. And the reasoning is they believe in the 3 gift rule. Have you ever heard of that? So you buy 1 educational gift, 1 like gift of their wants and 1 practical gift, like, or I think it's something like that, or it's either like 1 Santa gift, 1 educational gift, and 1 gift of their dream or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, that way it teaches them limits, right? And that's what teaches them that like not everybody fucking gets whatever they want. So they had like lessons behind it, right? But they're like, yeah, it's always the same. Like it's one educational gift. I forget. So it's the three gift rule basically, and it's something along that effect. And multiple people in this group that I was talking to are like, oh, yeah, I do that too. Yeah, my kids do that too. I want to make sure that like we don't do the Santa thing because I don't want them to think blah, 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 this and that. And I remember I was just like, I respect that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong. That's cool, but I don't understand why you have to make rules for Christmas like that.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's like off the like page 146 of Cosmopolitan.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like you read about it, and that's like it's the new cool thing. I don't know. For Christmas, I'm just gonna give you what you really want.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
As far as my daughter, you know, do you want a new MacBook?
Right.
You're gonna get a new MacBook.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was wondering, because I remember being in that circle, like feeling judged, like, no, I spoil my kids on Christmas. Sorry, I don't do the educational toy, you know? Like, they're like, yeah, well, I remember one girl going, I always get a book that they're going to read. And then I get them something that they want, like a clothing or, you know, an electronic. And then I get them something practical, like if they've been needing socks or something like that. And that's their gifts. And that's all they're getting because they're going to get gifts from the rest of the family. And I'm like,
That's stupid.
I'm like, damn, I would be like, you suck, Mom. You know? Like,
But okay, now that I think about it, it does somehow make sense.
yeah,
right?
I mean, it makes sense.
But
yeah.
I think that's probably the opposite of that. My reaction to it is also the cause of all my stress.
right.
Right? My reaction to like, no, my daughter's gonna get him. When I said MacBook Pro, I'm going, damn, that's like $1,300, and I'm like, I'm the one complaining about stressing, but I'm the one here trying to give somebody $1,300 worth of one thing.
That's true.
Right. So if I got my daughter a book that she can read, $15 at most, some socks, and then something mid tier that she really wants.
It would take that stress off.
It would take that stress off. But here am I trying to find like the MacBook Pro or the iPads.
But that's Christmas, though. It's like the 1 year that you have an excuse to be like, put it in the bag, you know, like, you know.
Yeah,
what
but
I mean?
but again though, it's like again when you really think about the finances,
yeah,
I'm like, I just kind of like crippled myself till next year.
it's true.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
instead of like, you know what I'm saying? Like my stress is, how am I gonna afford this? Well, you can't, because you're trying to buy $4,000 worth of stuff for one kid.
True.
Because I'm pretty sure if you know, like it's the same way you do it, where here's your list, but not everybody can get an iPhone.
Right.
Right. So you kind of find there's that middle ground. You know, like, yeah, you spoil your kids, but you spoil your kids on the level that you're comfortable with.
True. So I think also I have to share you the story that I heard that kind of like stuck with me, which is also why I'm like, you know, occasionally you spoil your kid. You know, I remember I heard the story of this mom. That shit brought me to tears because she starts off saying, let your kid have that piece of candy. Let your kid have that toy. And so that's how she starts the story, right? And then she goes on to saying, like, I was putting my daughter to sleep and she wanted some chocolate, blah, 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 blah. And I told her no, because I was being the good mom that was like, no sweets before bed, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, mind you, this is the day before Christmas. All my daughter wanted was some fucking chocolate, or 2 days before Christmas, some chocolate and whatever gift, right? And she's like, but because I wanted to be the good mom that society told me to be in this box, I told her no. And I held my ground, and, you know, she went to bed upset. And she said she went to go check on her daughter the next morning, and her daughter was dead.
Yeah.
She died. So, and apparently in this lady's video, she's like, we still haven't figured out what happened. We're still doing the autopsies and trying to figure out what happened, whatever, when I watched the video. And she's like, I'm so mad at myself. Till this day, I live with that guilt. Like, why didn't I just give her that fucking piece of chocolate? Why didn't I just give her that gift that she was wanting to make her happy in that one moment? She's like, yes, of course, moderation. Of course, there should be discipline and rules. And she's like, but there's certain times of the year where you just need to be in the spirit of giving, because I'll never, ever be able to live with myself when I think about that now. And I'm like, fuck, like that shit stuck with me, you know? I'm like, that's true. Like, I would probably live with that guilt forever if she's like, imagine if I gave my daughter that chocolate and she went to fucking bed happy. At least I could live with myself a little bit. Like, she went to bed happy with mommy and happy with her one last memory, but now she lives with the guilt of like, I had to fucking be the perfect mom over here and be educational and teaching her stuff, like.
Yeah, but it could also be like, do you blame the chocolate?
Right. I never thought about that, because you could be like, oh my God,
if I only said no.
What if that's true. I didn't even think about that. Like, she could, on the flip, she could blame herself that she put her to bed with something unhealthy or something like that.
I mean, things happen, and then people always find a way to, unfortunately, find, there's an unknown cause.
Right.
So in the grieving, you're trying to find, I don't want this to be a sad episode.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like any shit happens, unfortunately, and you deal with your grief the way you deal with it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Then eventually she has to come to the realization that whether or not they gave her chocolate or not,
it was probably going to happen.
it was going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's true. That's very true. All right. So before we close the episode, what would you say is something like, when you pass and your kids are here, what is something that you want to leave your legacy, or you want them to remember, like how you remember your family parties growing up or whatever? Like, what's something that you want your family to remember from you during Christmas season? Like, if you weren't here, like, oh, I remember Lonnie at Christmas, she would do this and that, or I want my kids to always remember the gifts that I gave, or whatever. Like, what's something that you want to instill as your legacy for Christmas personally?
It's hard to say, because I feel like I just want them to remember the happiness mainly. Like, because you're going to always forget, like, oh, I forgot what gift I got you that one year. Like, fuck the gifts. It's more of just like us being together as a family, seeing mom and dad happy, seeing you open things, and just like, because we worked hard to get to whatever we gave you that year.
Right.
So just be appreciative of what we did give you, and be like, damn, mom and dad really made sure that I had a good childhood.
I love that. Yeah. What about you?
About the same. It's just like, like you, as I said, you get the high end items, and eventually, like, hopefully, your kids realize that shit wasn't fucking easy to get.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I think I kind of instilled that in my daughter. Like, I think she was like, she wanted a new iPhone one year, and then she started working, and I'm like, well, how much did you earn like this week? She's like, this much. And I'm like, how much does your phone cost? And I told her the price, and I'm like, you would have to work this many hours just to afford that phone. Right. So it's basically like, you try to make, the legacy, I guess. It's just a remembrance, like, you have, people work hard to give you the best things in life. And you have to be cognizant of that, and you just have to understand that, that's, people's struggle is your happiness.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So mine would be pretty much in the same vein. I think of the line from Tupac's song when he's rapping about his mom,
Dear
and
mama.
Yeah, and he talks about, there's that one line, I don't know the exact line, so don't fucking come after me, but something where he
Yo,
talks.
so we're drug fiend, mama.
Not that one.
Oh, wait,
But
mama. That's it.
the line where he's like, there was always hot food on the holiday. Like, he says something about how, like, when the holidays came, she always figured out how to have, like, a hot meal out and, like, things like that, no matter how much they struggled
It's
or
gonna
whatever.
fuck with my head because I know that
You
line.
know the line, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now, too, off the top of my head. But so to that effect, right? I want my kids, when I get older, to kind of like what you said, but both monetarily, but also not monetarily, just look back and be like, damn, like, it doesn't matter what happened. My parents did the best that they could to make me the happiest that I could be, whether it's decorations or gifts or taking them to Christmas card lane every year, like, I want them to be like my parent, kind of like what you said, like, man, I want them to be cognizant of how fucking hard that was, right. And like how much effort was put in just so that you could have that smile on your face, so that for sure.
How much scheduling and pressure it was to get you 5 in the car
Right, exactly.
to travel somewhere, scheduling.
Fucking dress, bottles ready, shit. Yeah.
No, literally, I had to fucking go off on my kids because we took them to that fucking parade, side note. And they're like, how far is it that we have to walk? Because there was no like parking, right? And we got to the parade. How long is it till the parade starts? Can we go home and play on my iPad? Like they started fucking being dicks, right? And I'm like, listen, I was like, you need to be happy that me and dad went out of our way to plan this special day for you just so that you guys could have fun. So you guys could watch. And they're like, and I'm like, I would really appreciate if you guys actually paused for a minute to understand what it takes us to get here. And my kids are good kids, so right then they were like, okay, mama, I'm sorry. Thank you for taking us, mama, like whatever. So but it's the same thing, right? I'm like, motherfucker, you know how hard it was to get
Grateful little shit.
Ungrateful motherfuckers. Like you guys all had to fucking get in this car all bickering and shit, like I want to eat here. No, I want to eat here. Cause the parade had like different booths, and I'm like, we had to go to booth 1, booth 2, booth 3. I'm like, motherfuckers, like sit down and calm the fuck down and appreciate it. And they were like, okay, mom, sorry. But yeah, so same vein of like,
You know what I would do next time? Have them wait in line.
I know,
At each
right?
booth, like you want to eat over there, you wait, and then you call me when you're ready to pay, and I'll pay for it. But
So-
you sit in line.
It was actually a good lesson because one of the booths that they went to was this Japanese rice ball booth or whatever. This little girl was working the booth. It was her and her mama, right? And she had to have been like 8, 9, like Kenzo's age, and legit took the order, wrote the order down, told mom the order, helped mom pack the order. And she was so well spoken, she's like, and I go, you're over here eating food. This girl's working, like this little girl is working her ass off to be here and help her mom. And they're like, you're right. I was like, you get to be here and enjoying it. And she's working,
He was probably holding on to the rice ball going, it must have been love, but it's over. See,
Yeah.
I first saw you at the parade.
Right?
You were with your mom, like the whole romantic backstory.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm over here still stuck trying to figure out what Tupac said. Oh, this fixed on a hot plate.
Yeah, exactly.
You are
That
appreciated. Don't you- I probably have mixed out by then.
The other thing that I would want my
Second course, we're done.
right?
No, I don't even get to the second chorus.
Shit.
What I was gonna say though is the other thing I would want my kids to remember is that no matter what, when Christmas came around, everything was put aside. Like the stresses of money, the house needing to be cleaned, whatever the fuck. Like real life was almost put on pause so that we could just be joyful and happy and celebrate together and like love on each other, So that too.
I agree. The shit we do for our kids.
I know. So with that being said, if you guys are watching this episode, happy holidays.
No, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas if you're okay with that. If not, happy holidays.
Suck a dick.
No, stop. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, right? Is that the other one?
Yeah.
Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All the things. We appreciate you guys if you've stuck with us throughout the freaking year. I mean, this is not the New Year's episode yet, but thank you for being here, watching the Christmas episode and riding with us and supporting us. We hope that you guys are all, if this is going to be after or before that we post this Christmas.
I don't know. What's the date? Sorry. Let me pull up the
Well, while he's figuring that out, write down below what you either got your kids or your favorite gift that you received or you're planning to give. All right, let's do this. A gift that you're planning to give out. What is one of the things that you...
Oh, this comes out
excited?
Christmas Day.
Hey.
Yay.
Okay, so your favorite gift that you received and a gift that you were giving out. That was one of your favorites.
Yeah, so favorite gift that you gave, favorite gift that you received. Put it
Or
in
just
the
a
comments.
Christmas tradition. Like share it,
or a
share it.
tradition.
Yeah.
Or that.
All that. I'm pretty sure you guys are not listening to us on Christmas Day, so be safe on Christmas Day.
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive.
Yes.
Make sure you unplug your Christmas tree at night because house fires.
That.
Yeah, and thanks for riding with us for another Christmas
episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure if you ain't giving gifts, you're giving your gift. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
And for all you guys, for the loyal listeners, watchers, make sure you DM Vince Merry Christmas.
Yes, because
He's going to complain that nobody loves him.
And that he was left out. But we actively tried to get him on this episode, but he's tired, so.
Yeah. He's over there with morning wood right now.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if you heard a couple of snores in the background, but that was him.
That's him, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Like we said, happy holidays, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.